What's up, guys? So, if you watch the channel updates, you know my hair is like this, alright? But today I'm going to be reviewing a game that could have been a hit or miss for me, really, because it is from Insomniac Games. Now, for those of you guys who do know my history with Insomniac Games, last generation, I absolutely hated the Resistance series, and Fuse was awful, alright? I never played any of the Ratchet & Clank games because I never really got into the series. But I heard those were okay. But regardless, I never liked any Insomniac Games game last generation. And going into their brand new IP, which was an Xbox One exclusive so far, it could have been a hit or miss for me because the game itself looked, interesting, but it didn't look like something that I was immediately appealed to. But I decided to take a leap of faith, and I went out and picked Sunset Overdrive up. Alright? You guys saw my unboxing for this game, and I mentioned in that unboxing, again, what I mentioned to you right now, my history with Insomniac Games. I'm not really a big fan of them. So naturally, I got this game, and I decided to give it a chance. I decided to play it, and I didn't expect to be playing it this soon, but due to the bugginess that is Assassin's Creed Unity, I decided to hold off on that game some more and play through Sunset Overdrive instead. Now, Sunset Overdrive is stupid in the best possible way. That's really the only way I can really put it, alright? It is a game that evokes fun, ridiculous humor rather than a serious, emotional sort of meaning to it. It's not a game that you're going to sit there and be like, wow, this is some incredible experience, and oh my, I'm just so emotionally drawn. And it's not like that. This game is basically just fun, and that's all it really has. It evokes fun, it's fun to play, and it's just fun. So really, it comes down to what is your preference as a gamer? Do you enjoy a very emotional storyline like I do, that's very character-driven with people that you care for, and it's this long, overdrawn journey when it's with epic stuff going on? Or do you enjoy a game that you drop in, play it for about 2 or 3 hours at a time, and you just have fun causing havoc, alright? I am the former. And for this game, really when I started playing it, I was immediately kind of frightened because I was like, I know this game's getting good reviews, but this isn't the type of game I like to play. So I went into there not really expecting much or expecting, something really bad. And overall, I have to say that I came out of it with a really positive attitude. This game is actually very fun to play. And I was surprised because, like I said, it doesn't have a storyline that's emotional or epic or really crazy. It's ridiculously stupid. It's dumb, right? And it's quirky, and it does all of this, but it's in the best way possible. And, everything about the game, from the way it looks to the type of humor and weapons it has and the gameplay and its story, everything is the exact opposite of the type of games I like to play. Except that, for some reason, I found myself really enjoying this one. It's really hard to put my finger on what exactly I really enjoyed about it. But basically, what's going on in this story, just to give you guys a quick synopsis, is that you are this low-life, basically, just you're poor. You're poor. You work trash duty for some concert. All of a sudden, at this concert, they're basically promoting this new energy drink, I think it's called. I think it's an energy drink, or maybe soda. It's pretty sure it's an energy drink. It's called Overcharge, right? And what starts happening is at this club that you're at this rave, the people who are drinking this Overcharge start mutating into these weird, basically they call them the OD, right? The Overdrive. And these are basically mutants comprised of the chemicals from this energy drink, and they look disgusting. There's a picture of it right here. You guys can barely see that. That's how they look, right there, right? Really stupid. They look like a pile of shit. And what you're basically caught in the middle of is this post-apocalyptic scenario where they cut off all communications from the city. You're stuck in the city, and basically your goal is to get out of the city, right? And you meet some really quirky characters along the way. You basically get weapons, and then you have to upgrade your stuff. There's a bunch of other things that happen in between. And the side missions actually have story related to them, which there's only a few side missions that I really enjoy because most of them are actually pretty repetitive. But a few of them actually have stories to them that really kind of add backstory or support the main story that's flowing forward. And that's really cool as well. Now you have a character creation screen where you create your own character, male, female, or you can make them buff or really skinny, and basically choose from a selection of different faces, choose their clothes and stuff, and you can change this at any time. You can start the game off as a male, you can change a character to a female, just like that. So you can change it at any time that you want, which most games don't actually let you do. They just, you had your choice, you made your choice, that's it, that's who you're playing for the rest of the game. No, you have complete creative freedom over who you want to play with. If you want to play the whole game as a guy and then the last level you want to play as a chick, you can do it. And it doesn't have any impact on the story. All your customization options do actually import into the cutscenes, which I actually enjoyed. So it's not just one base person and how it looks. Everything that you unlock throughout the game and that you customize your character with does translate into the cutscenes, and the graphics are actually pretty impressive. Some impressive details and effects going on. And so everything there is pretty much great. Now, going back to the graphics, I do want to say this game has one of the most colorful art styles I've ever seen in my life. If you just take a look at the cover, look how busy this cover is. This cover is exactly, pretty much how the game looks. Pretty similar to how the game looks. It's very cartoony, and as you can see, it looks like a freaking mural painting. And if you look in the background, if you're like on a high point in the city and you look off into the distance, the backgrounds look like oil paintings. It's actually pretty cool because, as you're traversing through the city and stuff, you'll see things start to come into more of a 3D type of style. So everything looks like a beautiful painting, and then all of a sudden it's like forming, and you get to see some actual depth and stuff like that. And that's pretty, and I really enjoyed that about the game. Just the backdrops and the whole city, Sunset City where it takes place in. I enjoyed that a lot because it was just a really colorful city, really bright city, and it is a futuristic game. I think it takes place in the year 2027, right, in this fictional city. So it is a futuristic game in that sense, but the art style is just really well done. So, and that's pretty much my favorite part about Sunset Overdrive is just its art style alone. It's cartoony, but it's done very well, and the textures are actually very detailed. They have umbrellas and stuff flapping in the winds and flag and stuff like that. So everything has really good effects to it. The physics are really good as well. You can wear certain clothing items, and all of them have their physically based physics. Does that make sense? Physically based physics. Procedurally generated. I guess that's I don't know. The technical terms of it. Everything has its own individual physics added to them to make it look pretty, believable at least. So, that being said, this game, it's very, the best way to put it, its style is very humorous. And with that being said, if you're not the type of person who doesn't go in there with an open mind, or at least not expecting anything, and you're expecting this story, this really serious story, then you're going to come out of it pretty disappointed, alright? The game's going to throw every single joke at you, good and bad, alright? Keep in mind, there's sexual jokes, there's racist jokes, there's every single type of joke possible, alright? But it's all done within sort of context. It makes sense within the world. And, it's pretty hilarious. I'm not sure if there's gender-related jokes as well. I don't know if, depending on if you play as a female, you may have different jokes than the male characters do. I'm not really sure about that. But this game just throws jokes at you constantly. It's all lighthearted, right? Even when you kill people, and like if you shoot a big guy with a rocket and he explodes, it says "boom" in text, and which means blood right there. And it is important to note that amongst all the chaos, no matter how many freaking lights and effects are going on all at once on the screen, this game remains at a stable 30 frames per second the whole way through. It wasn't until the very, very end, the last level, where I started to experience slight little hiccups, alright? But 95% of the time, throughout my experience, this game's played at a stable 30 frames per second, and it does run at 900p resolution, but thanks to some good anti-aliasing and also a good hardware upscaler from the Xbox One, the game does not even look like it has any jaggy edges or stuff like that. I think it's also the art style that's really helping this game out with that as well. Alright, now the gameplay is the most important part of Sunset Overdrive because it's its most strongest point, right? It's basically an homage to the previous Tony Hawk games and the skateboard games, alright? I never skateboarded, but I always enjoyed the Tony Hawk and skate games, right, back in the day. So, basically you can grind on rails, and you can also do wall run, but you can't climb, unfortunately. People are making comparisons with this game like Infamous, like this is the Xbox's Infamous, right? I see a lot of people saying that, and playing it, I don't know how people make that comparison. It's nothing like Infamous at all, to be honest. Infamous is more serious, and you can't climb at all. You can't climb in this game at all. You can jump super high, you can grind on stuff, you can wall run, but you can't climb up a wall at all. You have to, in order to climb up stuff, you basically have to wall run and try to wall run and jump and wall run and jump. It's very hard to climb up straight from the surface. You're supposed to basically find a rail that leads you up to that building, grind on that rail, and then get up to that building that way. Now, the game's very forgiving. There's no fall damage at all, so you can fall from any height whatsoever, and he's fine. There's no fall damage. And there's plenty of upgrade items as well. You can purchase weapons with, you basically can collect soda cans or those energy drink cans that they were selling. And you can collect those, and you can buy weapons and upgrades and stuff like that. And you can also upgrade, you can upgrade your weapons and things like that. And the weapons are comprised of really cool sci-fi weapons and like really ridiculous, hilarious mock-ups. Like there's this gun that you get in the main game. It's a shotgun. It's a shotgun. It's a shotgun, and it's in the shape of a dick, basically, right? It has you have the two balls and you have the big long rod, right? And it's stuff like that, you know. That's really where this game gets you. It's supposed to be, and that's the humor that it evokes, right? For a lot of you guys, this is not going to seem appealing at all. And to me, when I first, heard about this, and when I first saw this, I was like, this is not appealing to me at all. But playing it, I can't deny that I had fun in it, and that's really the most important part when it comes down to this game is, did you have fun playing it? The answer is yes, I did. I had a lot of fun playing with this game, and I'm surprised I did too. Certain side missions that you do actually unlock weapons, not only weapons, but also clothing items as well. So I did all the side missions in the game, right? And there's this one side mission, I got this awesome trench coat for doing this side mission, and it's a pretty nice coat, and you can unlock all these cool, outfits and stuff, and then change them throughout, your game and stuff, and that basically imports into the cutscenes. It's a nice reward system because it actually encourages you to do side missions because, I want to get a cool item, alright? Not all the items that you'll unlock you'll particularly like. I'm a guy who doesn't like to wear fun, ridiculous stuff that's everywhere, even though this game really encourages you to go all out and just look ridiculous. I was the type of guy who basically tried to unlock the cool outfits. So most of the time throughout my playthrough, I wore plain black pants, I wore a red buttoned-up shirt, and a white trench coat, and some aviator glasses, and some Converse shoes. That was about as serious as I could get my guy to look, to the point where he actually looks cool, right? But it still fits within the game. So just keep in mind that when you're doing the customization, it's going to pretty much force you to do wacky stuff. And you're either going to like that or you're going to hate it. At first, I wasn't really into it, but then it kind of grows on you. And if you're good, if you unlock stuff and if you're good at customization, you know exactly how you want your character to look. You can make him look a little bit more serious rather than humorous. All right. Now, what else do I want to get? The length of the game. I want to say it took me between 15 to 20 hours. I want to say around 18 hours it took me to beat this game. Doing all the side missions and doing all the stories, and I didn't even do everything. There's challenges and stuff in the game where you can race against your friends and compete with them. I did a few of those. I didn't do all of them just because I didn't really care that much. There's also cooperative multiplayer in this game, so you can get like 4 people in there, and you guys can play around and cause havoc and whatnot. So it's pretty cool. Actually, it says 8 players, up to 8 players co-op apparently on the disc on the case right here. That's pretty cool. So you have a lot of stuff there. And yeah, overall, I have to say that Sunset Overdrive is one of those games where I didn't really expect much, but I came out with a really positive attitude for it. It has a gorgeous visuals. It has a very ridiculous but entertaining story nonetheless. It has gameplay that's actually pretty fun. And a soundtrack. I do want to mention the soundtrack as well. The soundtrack is comprised of actual bands, famous rock and metal bands. But they've all done basically unique scores for the game. So it's like okay, you hire Metallica, right, to do the music for this game, but you give them like the lyrics, and you basically have them write their own song for this game. That's what Insomniac Games did. Is they went to all these different famous rock and metal bands, and they basically said, could you write your own song for this game? And throughout your playthrough, you'll hear all these cool, rock and metal songs if you're really into that, and they're all going to contain lyrics that really are about the game, and that's actually pretty cool. I like that about it. So, and that was a big part of it because this game's all about the rock theme is a really prominent theme for this game. If you actually take a look at the game disc here, I'm going to show you guys the game disc. The game disc has the texture of a record. It's supposed to be like a record, so. It's all about the music and stuff, the music and the sheer amount of fun and chaos you can cause. The only problem I have with this game, is the fact that the game got repetitive at times. Most of the missions, the side missions, even the story missions for that matter, are fetch quests, where you have to go here, do this, then go here and do that, and go here and do that. And basically you're just gathering things, or you're doing the same thing like 3 times. So the missions can get repetitive. I couldn't play this game for more than 2 to 3 hours at a time. It was just a little bit too much for me to play. I kind of got bored after that. But in bursts, this game was actually pretty enjoyable. So the boss fights are ridiculous and large in scale, and everything's just handled really smoothly. All right. So overall, I have to say that I really enjoyed Sunset Overdrive. And I was surprised that I enjoyed Sunset Overdrive because this isn't the type of game that I would really find myself enjoying, right? I just recently played Resistance 2 at the other house, right? I just recently, not replayed, but I played Resistance 2 through the first time. I absolutely hated the game, right? And I think it's funny how much of a departure this game is from pretty much any other game. I mean, I know Ratchet & Clank is out there, but Ratchet & Clank still has a serious tone to it somewhat. And this game is like a departure from everything. It's fun, it's really stupid, but it's enjoyable, and you'll have a good time playing it, and the graphics are really nice. Music's pretty good, too. So overall, it's a pretty decent experience. I'm going to give Sunset Overdrive a 4 out of 5. Enjoyable game, I had fun with it, and good job, Insomniac Games. You know what? I was really worried, but guess what? You showed me that you guys can actually make a very enjoyable game. Even though it's stupid, I did enjoy this one. And if you guys ever make a sequel, if you guys ever make another game of this archetype or something that looks cool, I guess, I'll try it out. But you did good with this one. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day. I will talk to you all later. Have a good one. Bye.